You know when your friend calls you and they say, "Hey, do you have just a minute?" You know it's going to take longer than a minute. You know what it's time for? It's time to learn how to be a life coach. No more do they dump on you. It's time for you to give them instructions on how to get moving in their life. You know, all of us have a destination where we're going in life, and we're getting from point A to point B. And here, this is one of my recent family trips that we went on from Cloudcroft. Well, we went down there, but this is our trip on the way back. We're trying to figure out where we're going, and how to get home as fast as possible. From Cloudcroft, New Mexico to Salt Lake City, Utah. My phone brought up this map, and it gave me two other options that were slower. So it's giving me the fastest route to get back home. But I also noticed that there really are slower routes to get to a destination. I believe that's why it's important for you to learn how to become a life coach, and the importance of being a coach, the importance of knowing how to help somebody else achieve their goal in the fastest route. I mean, what if it could save you some hours? What if it could save you some days? So I want to give you some training here on some great steps to help someone else or to help yourself be able to get from where you're at to your next goal in less time. This is awesome. Get your pen and paper out and take some notes, because these are some great steps in how to be a great coach. So first off, you got to know where you're going. What is the destination? And we call that the goal. Lots of different ways to narrow down, and get down to the information of like, what is the goal? And, what are we working on? But to keep it simple, a written description of what it is you want to have happen. And if there's some numbers or data involved, like I want to let go of 10 pounds, or I want to be able to run 5 miles, or I'd like to have $5,000 in a month. Whatever that goal is, if it could have some kind of actual measurement, it makes the goal even more valuable to the process. So you help the person choose a goal. And if they have difficulty choosing a goal, you just help them choose a smaller goal. Because part of the whole process is choose some kind of goal so you can start heading in that direction. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be crazy, but it's just some kind of simple goal. But here's the rest of the process. And this is what you want to pay attention to, because if you miss these steps, it's going to take a longer time to achieve the goal. If you do these next steps, you're going to save yourself time. Next is training. Now, what kind of training? This is called mindset training. Visualization skills and power of the language skills. It's tough to get your goal when you can't see it and you can't describe it. So you want to get training that helps you be able to visualize better, and also training that can help you improve the way in which you talk each day. Because when you talk negatively, it goes slower. When you can talk more healthy and positively, your process will be a lot shorter. So to learn visualization skills and also the ability to upgrade your language. Next is, be sure that you compile all the questions that you would ever have about what it would take to get this goal. But to compile the questions, all the different questions, like what's it going to take? What do I need to do next? Who should I call? What book should I read? When you have a list of questions, you now then go seek to find people or resources to answer those questions. An unanswered question can become a roadblock. In fact, most people's roadblocks between where they're at and their goal are an unanswered question. And most people don't realize this. They don't realize that unanswered questions can actually cause us to stop. Because when we don't know what to do with our question, with the answer to the question, we lose motivation. So to keep moving forward towards your goal, be sure you write down all your questions and just be super active to talk to people to find out who has an answer to the questions that you have. Next, track what you believe the next step is. Keep a journal of what you think the next steps are to go towards this goal. If you can keep track of the steps that you think you should take and the steps you are taking, you will be much wiser than a person who does not track their action steps. If you don't record the action steps you're taking and the action steps you think you can take, you're going to feel lost. You're going to experience more confusion. But every person I mentor who tracks their action steps closely, they pick up momentum. It really speeds up the process in achieving their goal. That's why I have the next step being tracking. So they record their action steps, but then along the way, you track which ones worked and which ones really didn't work. You get smarter by each step along the way. So this tracking is now, as you look at those different action steps, which ones moved you in a big way? Which ones didn't move you in a big way? Which ones were just crazy ideas? But to keep track of the experience along the way. Then to have someone to report to. Who do you have to call? Who's the person to reach out to? Who's the person who's going to be the one you're going to be accountable to for your daily action steps and your weekly action steps? Find a good buddy. Find somebody that you really admire or look up to, and ask them if they would be okay for you to report to them or be accountable to them. Don't put a burden on them that they have to do anything, but ask them if that would be okay if you could arrange an agreement so that you could be accountable to somebody. Now, what does not work is trying to make your spouse the one you're accountable to. They're your spouse. Sometimes turning your spouse into the one of who you're being accountable to can get weird. It can get really weird. If you have one of your children that is the ones you're going to be accountable to, they don't know how to hold you accountable. But find somebody who is further than you are, or somebody who's achieved something bigger than you've achieved before, somebody that you highly respect and you look up to. But set up an agreement so that you can have some accountability. This process right here, choosing a goal, getting some mindset training, writing down your questions so you know what the questions are so that you can get answers to them so they don't turn into these unconscious roadblocks, tracking your next steps so you can learn what works and what doesn't work, being able to track what is happening in the process and keeping a journal of it, and then reporting it. You keep traveling through this experience, you're going to notice the speed and momentum pick up in the direction you're going. Now here's one last cool piece I'm going to add to this. Whatever your goal is, educate yourself about that goal every single day. Whatever goal I have on my vision board, if I read about it and I study it and I look it up online and I talk to people who already have that goal, if I keep adding education to me about that goal a little bit every day, it fills my mind with the passion to achieve that goal. But not improving or upgrading the education about your goal, you can lose interest because this takes work. It takes work. And if education about your goal holds in the same place and you're adding a bunch of work to going towards your goal, you can lose interest because it's taking so much effort. But to get past that, to really get past that, is keep improving and upgrading your education about your goal. And you'll find that your passion towards it stays alive. And the excitement, the interest stays there. And it doesn't matter how much effort it takes because you're going to do it. But that is a part that I see that people fail at, is they lose interest in their goal. And when I went to look to find why did they lose interest, it's because they lacked education. So keep that education about your goal just amped up a little bit every day. And even if you have to wait till the end of the weekend, but spend some time updating yourself and getting more interested in knowing all the details about it. It makes a really, really cool impact on your motivation. Now, here at 3 Key Elements, we love to train people about how to be a mentor and how to be a coach. What you want to look into is go to our website and look into the Art of Mentoring program. We train people how to teach people to accomplish their goals. This process and a lot of other steps that help you understand why people stop, why people get stuck, Why do people not choose goals? And so that you can help people. Maybe it's somebody in your family you could be a good coach or mentor to, or maybe somebody on your team. But what if you could be better at guiding people to accomplish their goals? What if you could be smarter in that area? Well, number one, you would get your goals. Number two, you could help others. And you know what? That feels powerful. When you can help other people achieve the goals that they've always had in their life. But go check out Art of Mentoring. And also, don't miss out on the videos we're putting on this YouTube channel. So subscribe so I can send you the next training videos I have that are really going to help you in literally all the important areas of your life that really do matter. Now, you know that your life matters, but also being a coach, now you understand that other people's success matters. So today, see if you can find some way that you could help and be able to help walk them through this process of achieving their goal. This works, and it really makes a big difference because your life and their life matters.